just wanted to thank everybody for the support over however long you've been here for, the last 12 months, the last few months, the last 2 years, whatever it's been. I wanted to kind of have a little look back and reflection over, I'd say, the last year, because it's been wild, in all fairness. It's been really, really wild. If I kind of look at where I was a year ago, I just recovered from spinal surgery. Had no job. I'd applied for a job. I hadn't heard anything back for him over the Christmas period, New Year period, anything like that. Had no idea what was going to happen, basically, where I was going to be, what I was going to do. Lots of mental battles. A lot of stuff from life had compounded over the years, and then throw the spinal surgery issues on top of that. It saw me really kind of lost in a really dark place. But over the course of the last 12 months, I have tried my best to face the little bits in front of me and not get overwhelmed by them. Just keep my head down and power through. It's probably the best way that I can put it. Early January, the place that I applied to work for got back to me. They offered me an interview, had the interview, and literally the very next day, they asked if I could go in. They wanted to hire me. I've worked for that place ever since. I have had, I think I've had 3 pay rises and a promotion in 12 months. It has been absolutely wild. I've worked some crazy hours. The last 2 months run up to Christmas, I was doing 60, 70-hour weeks, which I kind of get the impression is pretty standard for like Americans and stuff. But for us Europeans, our full-time, unless you're like a chef or something like that, but our full-time ranges from like 37 hours to 40 hours, pretty average standard full-time hours. So to be doing sort of 60, 70 plus hours a week has been crazy. What's been even more crazy is that's based on a 4.5-day working week. So the hours have been mental. And you know what? It's felt positive. It's felt that I found a little bit of purpose working at the place that I work at. It's something that it tickles the creative juices. It's a little bit unusual because it works in the adult industry. So we say it makes products for adults. But when you get through all of that and what the product is that you actually make, the process that we go through, I find it really, really fun and find it really entertaining, challenging for the brain. There's a lot of problem solving that goes on. And it's very therapeutic, which is something that every member of staff that we've employed since I've worked there has said the same thing. Everybody has said it's very therapeutic work. Weirdly enough, everybody that also works there has some form of spicy mind, whether they're autistic, whether they're depressed, whether they're struggling with anxiety, whatever else, and it's a really interesting one because it seems that it's a place where all of these types of people come together and we all have a little bit of an understanding about each other, and the place works. Nobody's really trying to friction anybody up. Everybody's a little bit understanding. Everybody gives a little bit more than maybe you would do usually, but the work gets done. And I think that's what I pride everybody that works there on above anything else, is they get stuff done. I really appreciate that, especially as being like a manager or a floor manager now. I can turn to the people that I manage and work with them to get done what we need to get done. And that's not just cracking the whip, that's working with their strengths and stuff. And it's been real fun. Personal life has been interesting, I guess. I suppose what I've ended up doing is throwing myself headfirst into work because it masks the struggle, or it masks the pain, or however you want to describe it, of the real world of my life outside of work. There's still a lot of heavy lifting that needs to be done there. There's still a lot of enjoying life that needs to happen, rather than getting too caught up in it. It's a tricky process, simply because when you're kind of down and out, you don't necessarily want to bring people into that environment. So you'll keep your head down and try and keep out of the way of people, I guess, which is why I felt has really helped with work. It's been a place that has allowed me to do that. It's allowed me to kind of just focus on the work and getting the job done, and, you know, be there rather than be at home or whatever like that. And it helps me, as bad as it is, but people will understand, it helps me keep isolated, but with a purpose. So it's not like I'm removing myself away from people. It's just like I'm going over there to do that bit. So, you know, it's give and take. It is give and take. Working through therapy has been tough. It's been a solid 12 months. And there's a lot of things that have taken 12 months, I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of people have said on some videos that maybe they feel that the therapist is just taking my money, is just happy to sit down and listen to me take my money. But I genuinely feel that we are unwrapping quite a lot of stuff. I do genuinely feel very different in who I am today to who I was 12 months ago. Maybe there's still a lot of stuff that is messed up in my mind, but I feel a little bit more like aware of things now, or like I'm understanding things to a degree that, instead of getting stuck on the moment that maybe pulls my mood down, puts me into a bit of a downward spiral, I'm able to be a little bit more sensible about it. I'm able to kind of stop it and take a different perspective on things, or look from a different angle, or understand why it's even happening in the first place on a few things. I understand that I have been extremely lucky, though. I will say that for matter of fact. To find the two guys that I work for who have been absolutely ridiculously helpful for me in ways that even they don't know. For a start, giving me the job in the first place, having me show up for the interview day one, and then literally the next day have me in confirmed to work the job, and give me the trust that they gave me really early on as well. That was something that I appreciate, because it's something that helps me understand that maybe I do have a little bit of value. Even if I don't see myself, somebody outside of me sees it. I don't see what they see. It's kind of not my point to see it. I've just got to be who I am, and just let my work ethic, my actions, like who I am, kind of be the thing that other people appreciate of me. I think everybody out there just wants to be accepted for who they are. So when you find two people who seem to do that, and they appreciate you for who you are, and they respect you a lot, to the point where there's a lot of talk about getting me involved a lot deeper into the businesses and stuff. There's an insane amount of trust from those guys that it's crazy, man. It is crazy to think that somebody can appreciate you that much, where they trust you potentially with an awful lot of important stuff. It's helped me grow a little bit, I will say. It's been a very interesting one, because you're constantly trying to push back against a narrative that you've known your entire life, you know, a negative narrative about yourself, a lot of negative talk and that. But then it's almost like externally, the factors have been very different. The external factors have been telling me that there is a positive thing there. So it's been a real interesting conflict, but I've been so damn lucky. I am petrified, like I've said in a previous video about being a jinx. I'm petrified that sooner or later it's all going to go tits up. But I'm trying to acknowledge the positives where I can without sort of over-acknowledging them, if you like, without hyping them up to be, "Way!" You know what I mean? But I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that, you know what, I think I have worked really hard this year, and I feel that it's for the first time in a long time, it's actually started to pay off, which has been real good. I also have to acknowledge the fact that life is like YouTube. Stick with me on this one. In that you can do whatever people tell you. You can like play by a certain set of rules of how to achieve certain things or how to, you know, get to certain levels. But there is, without doubt, there is a huge element of luck. And I feel that I have been extremely lucky with the cards that have been dealt in front of me. I also, from a sporting perspective, believe that you stack the deck in your favour when it comes to sort of luck and that kind of direction. And I know it's really difficult to feel because I know there's going to be loads of people out there who have given their all into every single thing they've done for pretty much their entire life and still feel like they're getting nowhere. But I don't know, every experience that I have had that I can take on that is you just have to keep going because you are stacking the deck in your favour. It's hard to understand how, but it's the experience that you gain along the way that takes you forwards, and you learn a lot. You do learn a lot. You learn potentially a lot of things about yourself that are helpful to direct your path into a more successful way, I suppose is the best way to word it. For example, you might not know what career you want to take. You might not feel that you're being successful in a career. But I guarantee that if you work at a job long enough, you'll realise that that might not be for you. So it's like learning the other side of it. You might not learn what the one career is that you should be doing, but you'll learn a few careers that maybe, you know what, you don't want to do those. So you're narrowing down the possibilities by getting rid of the stuff rather than honing in on the one thing, rather than picking that one thing and chasing it. You're faced with everything and you're just kind of getting rid of the trash, really. How 2025 will go, I don't know. I really haven't got a clue. From a work perspective, we're going to get so busy because we're looking at opening another, what would it be, like another subcategory. We're opening another business underneath the main umbrella so that we are not blacklisted so much because, like I say, we're adult toy manufacturers. It's really hard to get your products out there in the world that we live in, even today, because so many places don't want anything like that. So we're looking into an adventure into furniture. Completely different thing altogether. But we'll see what happens. The two bosses have done their homework, so they feel pretty confident. So we just got to kind of get on with it. The irony, the other side to that coin is we're very reliant on TikTok, which, if you don't know, has had a little bit of an issue in America recently due to getting banned. And TikTok and America are like 95% of our audience. We get most of our sales through TikTok. and most of our customers are American, even though we're a British firm. So that one thing could cripple the businesses no end. Because at the minute we're not selling in Europe either, because there's a whole new safety thing that's coming to Europe, which means we have to have a European representative, from what I understand, in every single European country that we sell to. We also have to have a detailed description and list of all the like materials and color pigments and everything that we use within our product all has to be listed on the actual product bag itself. And the cost to do that is just astronomical. So at the minute we've pulled all sales in Europe, and potentially we could lose America as well. So the new year could be really, really interesting from a work perspective. After being on a high and doing stuff that felt like we were achieving, and for me personally, felt like I was on the right path to get myself where I feel I should be at this age, to all of a sudden, basically, we could be rug pulled. We could have that rug yeeted out from underneath our feet, literally within the first month of the new year. That's very scary, because obviously, if we're not making products, if we're not making sales, I'm not going to necessarily have a job. So it's kind of scary to look at. I want to continue 2025 with the same gusto, is that the right word, that I've had for 2024, of just trying, just doing my best and trying. I'm not going to sit here and say new year, new me. That's just all nonsense. I'm learning that everything is a process. Everything is a process. Like all this working through and healing and everything else is a process. We can hope and wish that next month everything's going to be great. It won't be. It just won't be. It's something that we have to work at. 12 months ago, I was stressing out. I'd taken a online course looking at becoming a therapist and all this sort of stuff, and only to find out that it wasn't actually a recognised qualification by anybody, despite the fact that the British government were the people that offered it. It was literally a waste of time. It was free, thankfully, but it was a massive waste of time. So I very much went through a very stressful period of panic, because you get to a certain age in life, and if you don't have the things that you want, and I would take this as a personal thing, because it's too easy to sit here and say, oh, I'm not where I should be at this age, I don't have the things that everybody else has. At the end of the day, life is a battle with ourselves. So although the things I want are things that everybody else has, like my friends and everybody else already has them, and it can be seen that I'm comparing, the very matter of fact is it's stuff that I myself wish I had at this age. I don't have it. So instead of getting snowed down with the fact and getting stressed out about it and panicked by it and, stress myself out like that, what I've learned is you have to just be sensible. You have to basically acknowledge what it is that you want and work for it, which might sound obvious, but I think we take it for granted. I think there's a lot of people who, they might want certain things in life, but they want it as much as they want it. It's like, oh, I just want that. XYZ. Let's take an iPhone, for example, the latest. I want the latest iPhone. But what steps do you take to achieve it? And when you look at a lot of like motivational things and stuff like this, they always go on about, you should write things down and make your goals almost like reality and this kind of thing. And I feel that it's very true. It's very weird as well, because once you start speaking things into existence, and it's true what they say in terms of be very specific about what it is that you want, if you genuinely like remind yourself daily that this is what you want, you do get this very strange, it's not a realization. What is it? It's like an alignment of energy. I don't know how else to describe it. And I know all this sounds a little bit wishy-washy, voodoo-y or weird and whatever else, but it really does feel like your brain aligns a purpose to things. It's like, okay, this is what we're working for now. This is what we're trying to achieve. And one thing I have noticed is don't be dumb with it. I mean, it might work for some people, but it doesn't work for me. Like, don't sit here and say, I want to earn £1 million in 12 months' time. I want to have made £1 million. It's almost like you've got to be realistic to your abilities. But bear in mind that your abilities can also grow as you do. So for me, it was a case of I needed a new job. I was so, obviously hungry that I wanted to do a job that allowed me to be creative, that allowed me to use my hands, that allowed me to use my brain to problem solve. And that's exactly what I landed myself in. It's a job that allows me to be creative. It's a job that allows me to use my brain and to problem solve. And then it's, okay, so where'd you go from there? What do I need to do to earn X number of money an hour? Am I able to bring a skill set that will allow me to do that? If not, what do I need to do? And just asking people and actually just trying to better yourself. And it's like what my favorite kind of, I don't know if he's a motivational speaker or what, but Jim Rohn is probably one of the best that I've listened to. A lot of his stuff I played last year, like a lot of it. And he kind of always goes on about work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And there's a lot of truth in that, because what it's doing is it's basically leveling yourself up so that you can go up a level. There's no easier way to describe it. Whether you read a lot, you do a lot, you learn a lot. It's all about just upgrading your skill set, your knowledge, however it looks, to be able to move yourself forward, whether that's within your area of work, whether that's a new place of work, or whether that's even just yourself. There's still a lot of room. Don't get me wrong, I'm not anywhere near like the ultimate goals of the things that I want to do. There's still so much room for hard work and improvement. And it doesn't always necessarily have to be get your head down and work hard. It really doesn't. One of my things that I wish to work on for 2025 is to allow myself to have holidays, time away. I only took a couple of weeks, literally a couple of weeks, more like 5 days, 10 days maybe at most over the course of the year away with my family. But there's a lot of things that I wanted to do for myself. I wanted to go certain places and see certain things in the world. I just didn't. I need to get a better work-life balance. That's something that I'm slipping with. It's trying to find the balance of working and living, which I feel for so many different reasons we might struggle with in today's world. We're existing, we're not necessarily living. And I would like to, I was going to say stop existing, but you know what I mean? I want to start to live a little bit more. I want to see things. I want to go places. It doesn't even have to be wild. It's just like a weekend away somewhere. But it's allowing myself to not be contained within the four walls of this house. And literally my only sort of travel be from home to work to home to work. I wish to get fitter again as well. as something that reminds you that you are the one that's in charge of your actions. Getting fitter, being more physically active. It's so much easier to get home from work after a long shift and just sit down. It is really hard to kick your ass and just do something. But that's the thing, it has to be something. And I've done little bits here and there throughout the course of the year, but nothing's ever maintained, you know. So that'd be something that I really would like to do. I guarantee you that it won't happen for a good 6 months or something, because I'll just get overwhelmed with work and everything else and just lose track. But there's a lot of things that I would like. I also want to deliver more positive videos. I know a lot of the stuff that I share is just sat in a room like this, or, you know, where it's not visually pleasing and I'm just yapping. And I don't necessarily mind that. But I either want to be able to hopefully deliver some sort of, I want to say positive insight to things, but I don't know if that's even possible. But you know what I mean? I would like to just be able to make nice, easily listening to videos that you can just put on and just listen. And it's just like, you know, we just sat there having a chat, get bored, get lonely, get, I don't know, down or something. You can just go find ads, put a video on, just listen to them yap away, and I don't know, bring a little pocket friend to your little world or something. How I do that, I don't know. Like I say, I want to keep away from controversy and politics and everything like that. But yeah, I don't know how to do that. I think the ultimate goal, I won't lie to you, the ultimate goal is to make long videos so that you can put them on late at night and then they just run. You know, people have a playlist that they just put on to fall asleep to. I think that's the ultimate goal as a YouTuber. Just simply because that watch time would be amazing. I don't know. I joke a little. There's a little truth in that, but I just needed to make this video to acknowledge that I've had a very lucky 12 months and I feel I have worked hard in that look, you know. It's the hard work beats talent kind of situation. You can be talented, but if you don't work at it, you kind of get nowhere. But if you are determined and hardworking, you'll make it work. It's been one of those kind of years for me. I had a little bit of a leg up with look and then just tried to work my ass off. And yeah, I also wanted just to, like I say, thank you to everybody for the support, through the people that have been members throughout, however it's been, however long they've been members for, people who have dropped super chats and stuff. It's been absolutely, it's been really warming. I will admit that. It's been really, really warming. And the support has been, it's been really nice. It's been really nice. I'm getting quite emotional just thinking about it, because it's really weird to basically have started a channel where I just talk just about things and how I've been feeling and stuff, and people have found that channel and supported me through their kindness. As somebody who feels that I've always tried to support others in whatever way I can through, you know, at least my kindness at the very least, and just be nice to people and just be kind to people. It sometimes feels that you don't very often get that back, you know, you're giving it away all the time, and life can feel like it's really hard when everything feels really rotten and you're still trying to maintain some sort of positivity and kindness. Even when people are horrible to you, you still just want to be kind to them. So it's really kind of you guys. So that's all I can say without getting really choked up about it. It's really kind, and maybe that tells you more about me as a person than anything I can say ever will. You know, the fact that just people being kind to me gets me kind of choked up. And that's sad, man. But yes, I wanted to wish you all a happy new year. And I hope to continue this channel in the next year. And I hope to deliver whatever I can. Positivity, upbeat, maybe even to some people who can find my early videos, see how downbeat and trodden I was, and maybe where I get to. Even if it's just, look at me, I feel like I'm living like a normal human being, living a normal, boring life like I'm supposed to. To feel that even I can do that, hopefully means that anybody can, right? I believe anybody can. But I also believe that when we are down, struggling, and just feeling like we're up against it, I know how hard it is to feel that things can go right. But they can. I appreciate every single one of you, all the comments, all the likes, all the support, and every which way it has been. It has been a wild ride so far. At least for me. Maybe not through the videos, but at least for me. And I hope we continue. I hope to see you all again. Happy New Year, you all. Have a good one.